Shabbat Shalom. Around 11 years ago or so, the thought of becoming a rabbi took root deep down in my soul. At the time, I was teaching religious school, I was working part-time at a day school, and I was working as a manager at a movie theater. It's a lot. And after a visit with my childhood rabbi, who told me straight up that the rabbinate was out of reach due to my lack in Jewish literacy, I felt both defeated and inspired. But I knew that the only way to achieve my goal was to sit down and learn. I quickly became overwhelmed. I felt so behind, thousands of years behind. I was unfamiliar with the vast majority of Jewish texts and was only really familiar with biblical Hebrew because I took it as an undergrad because it counted as my language credits for my major. So I tried to catch up on all of the Jewish wisdom all at once. I purchased a set of Mishnah, various volumes of Talmud, commentaries in Hebrew and English. I took an online Ulpan class twice a week. I studied for hours and hours at a time. I wanted to learn as much as I could and as fast as I could. I wanted to master it all before I even stepped foot into a Beit Midrash if I were to be accepted in rabbinical school. Now, this was not a sustainable way to learn at all. So I met a different rabbi at a different local synagogue who said to me, "David, you just need to slow down. I know you're excited," but he says you should still learn the texts, but maybe learn them a little bit slower. Right? You need to enter rabbinical school with some foundation, but focus on small goals at first. Focus on one word, one line at a time, just one moment at a time, one Mishnah at a time. I tried to jump into the deep end of learning, but I was just learning to swim. I was standing out looking at a vast sea of Jewish texts, and that sea needed to be entered very slowly, one small step at a time. The impulse to want to become a master of a subject or a skill immediately, it's nothing new. But in our modern age, where Neo from The Matrix, which is now a dated reference, where he could learn Kung Fu in an instant, right? All of us now desire instant gratification, instant success. It has become so much harder to appreciate the value of the journey itself. We live in a world where we are given answers immediately. We can ask Siri or Alexa for an answer, and immediately we have anything that we want. And we encounter this very impulse early on in our parasha, Vayigash, that we'll read tomorrow morning. The moment when Joseph sends his brothers back home to Eretz Canaan. Following Joseph's revealing himself to his brothers, he sends them back to Canaan to get their father so they can all settle in Egypt where there's plenty of food to be had. But before he leaves them, he gives them the advice. He says, "All tirgazu baderech." Do not be quarrelsome or agitated along the way. That's an interesting phrase to say to your brothers before you're sending them out on this journey. Now, on the simple level, it sounds like it's emotional advice, right? Don't argue with each other. Don't make this journey even more difficult, right? How many of us remember when we were young children going on long car rides and we kept asking our parents, "Are we there yet? Are we there yet? Can we stop? I'm hungry. I have to go to the bathroom," right? We're being a little annoying in those moments. Right? Joseph did not want his brothers to hate each other on that long journey. But the rabbis of the Talmud didn't see it like that. They ask, what does it mean to be agitated and quarrelsome on some journey? Well, they teach us in the Talmud that Joseph said to his brothers, "Do not take long strides and bring the son into the city." Meaning, you should enter the city to spend the night there before the sun has set. And the Gemara adds, "Do not take long strides, as our great teacher said, a long stride takes away 1/500th of a person's eyesight." Now, that doesn't sound like a lot, but someone who wears glasses, that is quite a lot of your eyesight. Moving too fast to arrive at one's destination may feel efficient. We're getting there so much faster, I don't want to stop along the way. But it actually comes at a great cost. Rabbi Pinchas Halevi Horowitz, also known as the Baal Hafalah, he adds to the Talmud statement, saying, "Do not take long strides, because it takes away our eyesight," meaning that a person must ascend to higher spiritual levels gradually, not by big steps, because if one takes too big a steps to come to the top, you might lose your vision, you might lose your purpose, you might lose the reason why you started the journey that you started. And the Dubnu Magid adds, "Steps taken hastily without deliberation blinds a person's eyes so that they do not evaluate the situation carefully, and they stumble about like a blind person." When we rush, we stop evaluating, we stop noticing, we stumble forward, we're unable to see that path in front of us. Joseph, in this fragile moment in his life, he understands something essential about human beings. When emotions are high and the destination feels urgent, the greatest danger is not delay, it's losing clarity along the way. So as we prepare to enter the new secular year of 2026, many of us may have the tradition of creating New Year's resolutions. We create lofty goals at the start of the year. We want to become the best musician, the best artist, to get in the best shape, to eat the healthiest. Right? We try to fix and improve and master every part of our lives all at once. We take long strides toward our goals, and then we wonder why 80% of resolutions are abandoned by February. Joseph's insight into keeping his brothers on task in their journey is the exact advice that we all need about entering the new year. Do not become agitated along the way. There will be moments that will be frustrating, moments where we want to lash out at ourselves and others if we are not seeing the results that we desire. So what can we do about it? Modern psychology agrees with Joseph and our rabbis. They say that we should not take large steps when trying to achieve our goals. It will only discourage us, causing us to stumble and to ultimately fail and give up. Now, they say that we should still have big goals, dreams of learning new skills, of getting into better shape, but the only way to actually achieve those goals is by breaking them down into smaller, manageable steps. Steps small enough that we can take them consistently without losing our momentum or our confidence. We're told to focus on one goal at a time, to try to avoid achieving everything at once, to keep track of our progress and not get bogged down when we do, and we will stumble and fall. These are the lessons that Joseph shares with his brothers. Al tirgezu baderech. Do not be agitated along the way. Don't rush. Don't feel pressured to achieve a goal immediately. Joseph understands something that 80% of us still struggle with us when we set our New Year's resolutions. The danger is not in the dream that we have. The danger is that we try to turn that dream into a reality in less than 6 weeks. Joseph's advice is not about lowering our expectations. It's about choosing to take small steps that make growth possible. May the new year of 2026 be a year where we all dream big, where we walk wisely. May each small step that we take lead to incremental and positive growth, and may we measure our success not by its speed, but by its process. Shabbat shalom.